The Achaemenid Empire, known today as the First Persian Empire, emerged as one of the most significant empires in ancient history. Its origins can be traced back to the Iranian plateau, where several tribes inhabited the region, including the Medes and the Persians. The name Achaemenid comes from Achaemenes, the legendary ancestor of Cyrus the Great, who played a pivotal role in transitioning from tribal affiliations to a centralized state. By the mid-6th century BCE, the Achaemenid dynasty took charge under the leadership of Cyrus II, known as Cyrus the Great, who is credited with unifying various tribes and establishing the first cohesive Persian empire that would last for over 2 centuries. Under Cyrus, the empire not only expanded territorially, but also incorporated diverse cultures, languages, and laws, marking the Achaemenid dynasty as a significant political entity. As Persia expanded, it laid the groundwork for successful governance that would become a hallmark of the Achaemenid Empire. Unlike many contemporary empires that tended to impose harsh rule on conquered peoples, the Achaemenids adopted a more tolerant approach. They allowed local customs and governance to persist within the provinces, while ensuring that allegiance was maintained through a system of satrapies, or provincial governors. This innovative administrative system facilitated the effective management of a vast and culturally diverse empire, enabling the Persians to integrate various social and cultural elements into their own identity. The architectural and artistic achievements during this period reflected a blend of various influences and showcased the empire's glory. Remarkably, during its peak, the Achaemenid Empire spanned 3 continents, stretching from the Indus Valley in the east to the shores of the Aegean Sea in the west, making it one of the largest empires in history. Before the rise of the Achaemenid Empire, the Persian region was inhabited by various tribes, each with their distinct cultures, languages, and social customs. The most significant among these were the Persians and the Medes, who had inhabited the southwestern Iranian plateau. The Medes played a considerable role in the political landscape before the emergence of the Achaemenid Empire. They developed a significant kingdom that saw the rise of a centralized authority, yet their culture and political structures were significantly influenced by neighboring civilizations, particularly the Assyrians and Babylonians. The Medes' interactions with these civilizations contributed to a rich cultural tapestry that blended elements of Zoroastrian beliefs, traditional Iranian customs, and influences from more advanced societies. The early Persian tribes were primarily nomadic pastoralists, living off their herds of sheep, goats, and horses. As they gradually settled, they developed an agrarian lifestyle that allowed them to cultivate the fertile lands of the Iranian plateau. This transition from nomadism to agriculture brought about significant social changes, allowing for the establishment of more permanent settlements, trade routes, and complex social structures. Within these tribes, the oral tradition held significant importance. Stories of heroic deeds, battles, and the teachings of Zoroastrianism were passed down through generations, shaping their cultural identity. These transitionary phases in tribal life laid the foundation for what would later evolve into the Achaemenid political and cultural identity, leading to the emergence of a structured and sophisticated state under Cyrus the Great. Cyrus the Great's ascension marked a monumental turning point in the history of the Persian Empire. Born around 600 BCE, he was the son of Cambyses III, a minor king of the Persian heartland. Early in his life, Cyrus experienced a series of political intrigues that ultimately set him on a path to power. In 559 BCE, he ascended the throne after overcoming the Median kingdom, utilizing both military prowess and shrewd diplomatic tactics. Cyrus managed to forge alliances with various tribes and leaders, effectively unifying the disparate Persian factions under his leadership. His vision for a powerful, unified empire propelled him to conquer regions that extended beyond Persia's heartland, eventually taking control of Lydia, Babylon, and parts of Anatolia, among others. Cyrus's leadership was characterized by his innovative approach to governance. Rather than merely subjugating conquered peoples, he adopted a policy of tolerance and respect. He recognized the importance of cultural and religious diversity and allowed various cultures to flourish within his empire. This policy was especially notable in Babylon, where he is celebrated for freeing the Jewish people from captivity, allowing them to return to their homeland and rebuild their temple. This inclusive approach earned him the loyalty of his subjects, facilitating a period of relative peace and prosperity. His legacy as a just ruler solidified the foundations of what would become the Achaemenid Empire, underscoring the notion that a successful empire requires not only military strength, but also the ability to govern with wisdom, tolerance, and respect for local customs. Integral to the identity of the Persian Empire was Zoroastrianism, one of the world's oldest monotheistic religions. Founded by the prophet Zoroaster or Zarathustra in the 6th century BCE, the religion emphasized a dualistic cosmology of good and evil, represented by the supreme god Ahura Mazda and the opposing force Angra Mainyu. Zoroastrianism taught its followers the importance of individual choice, moral responsibility, and the concept of truth, which aligned harmoniously with the values of the Persian state. The religion served not only as a spiritual framework, but also as a means of consolidating loyalty and unity among diverse ethnic groups within the vast empire. The influence of Zoroastrianism permeated all aspects of Persian society, from law to governance to everyday life. Cyrus the Great himself is credited with promoting Zoroastrianism as a state religion, incorporating its principles into the administrative framework of the empire. The ethical teachings of Zoroaster, which encouraged traits such as honesty, fairness, and respect for others, were reflected in the administrative policies enacted by the Achaemenid rulers. Moreover, the religion's emphasis on the coming of a saviour and the concept of an afterlife resonated deeply with the Persian populace, further intertwining spiritual beliefs with national identity. As a result, Zoroastrianism played a significant role in shaping not only the political landscape of the Achaemenid Empire, but also the cultural and ethical framework that ensured its resilience and cohesion over the centuries. The origins of the Persian Empire are a rich tapestry woven with the threads of diverse cultures, visionary leadership, and religious philosophy. The rise of the Achaemenid Empire, spearheaded by Cyrus the Great, heralded a new era characterized by tolerance, administrative innovation, and cultural amalgamation. Early Persian tribes laid the groundwork for a sophisticated civilization, while Zoroastrianism provided a unifying moral and ethical structure that influenced both governance and social behaviour. Collectively, these elements forged a remarkable empire that excelled in both military conquests and cultural achievements, leaving an indelible mark on the annals of history. In exploring the complexities of this ancient empire's origins, we glean not just the story of conquest and expansion, but also a heartening narrative of unity within diversity. The Achaemenid Empire serves as a profound reminder of the enduring power of tolerance, respect for differences, and innovative governance in fostering a resilient and vibrant society. As the lessons of this ancient empire resonate through time, modern nations can draw inspiration from its legacy in navigating the complexities of cultural coexistence and governance within an increasingly interconnected world. The story of Cyrus the Great is a remarkable chronicle that exemplifies extraordinary leadership and an enduring legacy that continues to shape our understanding of governance, culture, and diplomacy. As a beacon of innovation, Cyrus established the Achaemenid Empire around the mid-6th century BCE, making significant strides in various domains. Among his notable feats was the successful conquest of Babylon, achieved with an extraordinary approach that favoured diplomacy over bloodshed. This pacifist resolution not only set a catalyst for his reign, but also forged a foundation for inclusivity and benevolence in his governance. This essay will delve into how Cyrus conquered Babylon peacefully, examine the significance of the Cyrus cylinder, analyse his military strategies and governance, and understand how he became known as a benevolent ruler. Cyrus's conquest of Babylon in 539 BCE is often regarded as one of the most skillful military manoeuvres in history, not merely for the military engagement involved, but primarily for how he facilitated an expeditious and relatively peaceful transition of power. Babylon at that time was a powerful city-state under King Nabonidus, who faced significant unpopularity among his subjects due to various religious and cultural policies that alienated the Babylonian populace. By capitalizing on the resentment felt by the Babylonians toward their ruler, Cyrus adopted a strategy that involved both military readiness and diplomatic tact. In the months leading up to the fall of Babylon, Cyrus positioned himself strategically. He skillfully gathered intelligence regarding the discontent among the citizens, showcasing an intuitive understanding of human psychology. By portraying himself not as a conqueror but as a liberator, he appealed to the aspirations of the Babylonians to restore their city's former greatness. As he and his forces advanced toward the city, they meticulously planned their military operations, using the Euphrates River to their advantage. With the river's defences serving as a natural barrier, Cyrus sought to divert or lower the river's water level, allowing his troops to enter Babylon through the riverbeds. This resulted in a surprise attack that left the Babylonian defences unprepared. Once inside the city, Cyrus continued his peaceful approach. Instead of pillaging and enforcing stringent controls, he entered Babylon as a figure of hope. Elegant in his demeanour, he quickly enlisted the support of local leaders, facilitating a bloodless transition that laid the groundwork for cooperation rather than conflict. His strategy effectively quelled potential uprisings and positioned him as a ruler who respected the rights, traditions, and religious practices of the Babylonian people. This method of conquest not only reflected exceptional military prowess, but also a keen awareness of the socio-political climate, ultimately allowing him to secure Babylon's resources and population without igniting resentment or rebellion. One of the most significant artifacts from Cyrus's reign is the Cyrus Cylinder, often referred to as the first charter of human rights. Discovered in Babylon, the cylindrical clay barrel contains an inscription in Akkadian cuneiform that articulates Cyrus's worldview and administrative philosophy. This artifact has garnered international attention not merely for its historical context, but also for the ideals of governance it encapsulates. The cylinder proclaims Cyrus's intentions to restore the sanctity of temples, protect religious practices, and liberate displaced peoples, echoing his broader vision for an empire in which diverse cultures could coexist harmoniously. The significance of the Cyrus Cylinder transcends mere historical documentation. It reflects an ideological and ethical foundation that champions tolerance, respect for diversity, and the rule of law. The cylinder emphasizes Cyrus's commitment to the restoration of various communities that Nabonidus had exiled, signifying an early appreciation for human rights. As a diplomatic tool, it enabled him to foster goodwill among the newly acquired populations by resonating with their cultural values and traditions. In contemporary discourse, the Cyrus Cylinder is often referenced as a symbol of justice and inclusivity, highlighting the importance of safeguarding human dignity. The values encapsulated within its inscriptions have inspired political movements throughout history, reinforcing the notion that benevolence and respect for others can forge stronger and sustainable societies. This artifact serves not only as a relic of Cyrus's empire, but as a timeless reminder of the ethical responsibilities that come with power and leadership. The cylinder's legacy endures, influencing modern conceptions of human rights and international law, proving that the principles of governance can extend beyond borders and centuries. Cyrus's military strategies were central to his success in establishing the Achaemenid Empire, transcending conventional warfare techniques of his time. By employing a combination of psychological warfare and tactical innovation, he unified a diverse array of cultures under a single banner. His forces were not merely skilled in combat, they were imbued with a sense of purpose, driven by a mission that extended beyond territory conquest. He was also adept at employing local tactics and integrating the forces of conquered nations into his army. This not only bolstered his military strength, but further solidified his image as a leader who embraced diversity. Governance under Cyrus was characterized by a system of decentralized administration that empowered local leaders to maintain authority within their communities, forging unshakable loyalty among his subjects. He understood that effective governance involved granting a degree of autonomy while ensuring that local leaders operated within the framework of the Persian Empire. This strategy resulted in relative stability and allowed him to focus on expanding his empire without the distraction of constant revolts or resistance. Cyrus also implemented a network of roads and communication systems to facilitate trade and interaction across his vast empire. The Royal Road, for example, enabled swift transportation of troops and goods, encouraging economic growth and cultural exchange. His administrative innovations, including the use of satraps or governors, ensured efficient management of far-flung territories while maintaining political control. By combining military might with administrative savvy, Cyrus created a legacy rooted in both strength and stability, effectively altering the dynamics of ancient governance. Cyrus became recognized as a benevolent ruler, not only due to his successful conquests, but significantly because of his humane approach towards diverse populations. Unlike many rulers of his time who ruled through fear and oppression, Cyrus distinguished himself through his commitment to justice, tolerance, and respect for cultural diversity. His ideals laid the groundwork for what would become known as the Persian model of governance, where the welfare of the people was prioritized over tyrannical control. This approach garnered the admiration and loyalty of subjects across various cultures and regions. His dedication to religious freedom, enshrined in the principles articulated in the Cyrus Cylinder, profoundly resonated with the peoples of his empire. By allowing them to continue their customs and beliefs, particularly concerning the local gods and religious practices, Cyrus fostered an environment of mutual respect. This sensitivity to cultural and religious diversity became a cornerstone of his rule, allowing him to integrate disparate groups into a cohesive empire. The narratives of his benevolence spread far and wide, associating his name with peace and prosperity, in stark contrast to the brutality often depicted in accounts of other ancient rulers. Furthermore, the benevolent nature of his governance extended beyond mere tolerance. It embodied a vision for a world where multi-ethnic cooperation could prevail. His policies and ideals influenced later rulers, shaping their approaches to governance and diplomacy. Even after his passing, the reverberations of his legacy endured, inspiring leaders like Alexander the Great and later empires, who drew upon his model of respectful engagement. The label of benevolent ruler bestowed upon Cyrus was a testament to the capacity of governance, not merely as an exertion of power, but as a means to unify, integrate, and uplift. Cyrus the Great's legacy as a military genius, visionary governor, and benevolent ruler has made an indelible mark on history. His conquest of Babylon without bloodshed showcased the potential for humane engagement in leadership and military strategy. The significance of the Cyrus Cylinder as a harbinger for human rights and values of justice and cultural respect has transcended borders and time, influencing modern concepts of governance and law. His military strategies were augmented by a willingness to incorporate diversity and promote local autonomy, ensuring stability and prosperity within his vast empire. Ultimately, Cyrus's ability to resonate with the hearts and minds of those he ruled laid the foundation for a legacy that continues to inspire discourse on leadership, human rights, and the nature of power. His story stands as a powerful example of how benevolence and strategic insight can create lasting peace and unity in a divided world. Darius the Great, the third ruler of the Achaemenid Empire, ascended to the throne in 522 BCE, marking a pivotal juncture in the history of Persia. He stood as a monumental figure not only because of his military conquests, but also due to his profound administrative reforms that structured one of the largest empires in the ancient world. His reign is characterized by an emphasis on centralization, economic innovation, and diplomatic relationships, each playing a vital role in the expansion and stability of the empire. This script delves into the multifaceted accomplishments of Darius the Great, particularly focusing on his reforms and organization of the empire, the construction of the royal road, the introduction of standardized currency, and the first contact with the Greeks, illuminating how these developments shaped the ancient world and contributed to the legacy of Persia. Upon assuming the throne, Darius faced the daunting task of consolidating an empire that stretched from the Indus Valley in the east to Thrace in the west. To manage this enormous territorial expanse effectively, he instituted an array of reforms that enhanced administrative efficiency and coherence. One of his most significant contributions was the division of the empire into satrapies, provinces governed by satraps, who acted as both regional governors and representatives of the king. Each satrap was responsible for maintaining order, collecting taxes, and ensuring the loyalty of his subjects to Darius's rule. This innovative system of provincial governance allowed for local administration tailored to the diverse cultures, religions, and practices of the various peoples within the empire, thereby ensuring smoother governance. Moreover, Darius emphasized the necessity of communication and trade throughout the empire. He established a sophisticated bureaucracy staffed by educated officials who could manage documents and accounts, fostering a more standardized operating procedure across the vast territory. The introduction of laws codified by Darius not only aimed to unify disparate communities under a common legal framework, but also sought to reflect the diversity of the inhabitants. These reforms, designed to uphold justice, promote economic stability, and maintain political control, served as the backbone of Darius's empire, contributing to its longevity and resilience. In addition, notable infrastructure projects, including roads and canals, enhanced trade and communication between the provinces, further solidifying Darius's influence and control over his imperial domains. In his quest to create an efficient communication and trade network, Darius launched one of the most ambitious engineering projects of the ancient world, the construction of the Royal Road. Spanning approximately 1,700 miles, this vital artery of the Achaemenid Empire connected key cities, including Sardis in the west and Susa in the east. The Royal Road stood out as a concrete manifestation of Darius's administrative vision, facilitating not only the swift transport of goods, but also the movement of messages, troops, and officials across diverse territories. This infrastructure played an essential role in maintaining control over the expansive empire by ensuring that central authority remained linked to peripheral regions, thus enabling Darius to respond promptly to unrest or challenges within his realm. To facilitate travel along the Royal Road, Darius established a series of way stations called posto, which provided travellers with fresh horses and essential supplies. This innovative postal system remarkably reduced correspondence times between distant parts of the empire, with messages reportedly travelling from Sardis to Susa in just 7 days, a feat unimaginable in that era. Furthermore, the Royal Road fostered economic prosperity by stimulating trade, allowing merchants to traverse vast distances with greater ease and security. As trade flourished, so too did cultural exchanges as goods, ideas and innovations from various regions of the empire flowed more freely, showcasing the interconnectedness that Darius sought to create. The impact of the Royal Road extended beyond mere logistics. It transformed the entire socio-political landscape of the Achaemenid Empire. By enhancing central control and fostering economic interdependence among its provinces, the road contributed to the cohesion of the empire, promoting a shared identity and sense of belonging among its diverse populations. The Royal Road symbolised Darius's vision for a unified yet diverse empire, serving as a conduit for collaboration, trade, and communication that ultimately shaped the course of Persian history. Darius the Great understood that a robust economy was fundamental for the sustainability of his empire. Recognising the chaos and confusion caused by various local currencies, he introduced a standardised currency called the daric, a gold coin that represented a significant advancement in economic practices within Persia. This innovative move eliminated uncertainties related to exchange rates, making trade more efficient and predictable. By providing merchants and traders with a reliable medium of exchange, the daric facilitated commercial interactions that spanned from the eastern reaches of the empire to the western frontiers, promoting economic growth and stability. The daric not only simplified economic transactions, but also served as a symbol of Darius's authority. By standardizing currency, Darius established a monetary system that unified the empire under a common economic framework, thereby reinforcing his role as a central authority. Moreover, the introduction of standardized coinage enabled the Persian economy to transition from a barter-based system to a more complex market economy, encouraging entrepreneurship and innovation. The daric became synonymous with Persian prosperity, as its widespread acceptance made it easier for individuals to engage in commerce, invest in enterprises, and accumulate wealth. This monetary reform coincided with advancements in trade routes and practices, paving the way for the flourishing of markets where merchants from varied backgrounds could exchange goods, ideas, and culture. The standardized currency also had diplomatic implications, as it fostered alliances with neighbouring regions, creating an atmosphere of economic cooperation that transcended cultural divides. The daric represented more than just a medium of exchange. It encapsulated the ambitious vision of Darius the Great to weave the disparate regions of his empire into a cohesive economic unit, facilitating the flow of capital and ideas that would resonate throughout history. As Darius the Great solidified his control over the Persian Empire through his administrative reforms, construction projects, and economic innovations, he increasingly turned his attention westward towards Greece. This burgeoning interest marked a critical turning point in the history of both Persian and Greek civilizations, as Darius sought to expand his influence into southeastern Europe. The first significant contact between Persia and the Greek city-states occurred during a time of political fragmentation within Greece. City-states were often at odds with each other, and Darius saw an opportunity to enhance his empire further. Darius's campaigns against the Greeks began in earnest after the Ionian Revolt. 499 to 493 BCE, in which several Greek cities in Asia Minor sought independence from Persian rule. Addressing this rebellion underscored Darius's intention to assert Persian dominance in the region and quell any notions of independence among the Greek city-states. The aftermath of the revolt led to the Persian commitment to subdue Greek opposition, culminating in the famous Battle of Marathon in 490 BCE, where the Persian forces faced a coalition of Athenian hoplites. This encounter not only showcased the military prowess of the Greeks, but also set the stage for future conflicts, marking the start of a protracted struggle for dominance between the two civilizations. The repercussions of this initial contact were profound and far-reaching. While the Greeks succeeded in their victory at Marathon, leading to a sense of unity among the Athenians and subsequent city-states, the Persian campaign ignited a spirit of resistance against monarchical rule. Darius's relentless pursuit of Greek expansion and his attempts to subdue the city-states ultimately laid the groundwork for the eventual rise of an Athenian empire, fueled by a desire for autonomy and self-governance. This socio-political tension would evolve into a defining narrative for both Greece and Persia, setting the stage for the subsequent conflicts of the Greco-Persian Wars and significantly shaping the trajectory of Western civilization. Darius the Great's significance extends beyond his military accomplishments. His transformative reforms, ambitious construction projects, and undeniable influence over economic practices and political relationships reshaped the landscape of the ancient world. The intricate administrative framework he established enabled the Achaemenid Empire to flourish, demonstrating a complex understanding of governance that allowed for the integration of diverse peoples and cultures. The royal road became a hallmark of Darius's visionary leadership, facilitating communication and trade that transcended geographical barriers. Notably, the introduction of standardized currency further enhanced economic interactions, fostering a dynamic marketplace that contributed to the empire's vitality. However, Darius's aspirations for expansion and dominance ultimately led to pivotal confrontations with the Greeks, setting in motion a series of events that would resonate throughout history. His encounters with the Greek city-states not only highlighted the contrast between Persian autocracy and Greek democracy, but also ignited a sense of nationalism among the Greeks that was destined to burgeon in the subsequent century. While Darius's reign came to an end, the legacy he left behind lived on, influencing governance, commerce, and cultural interactions within the ancient world. His profound impact reverberated throughout history, laying foundational elements that would characterize the blossoming of future empires and the ongoing quest for autonomy and identity within the complex tapestry of civilizations. Thus, the story of Darius the Great remains an enduring narrative, encapsulating the aspirations and complexities of a ruler who moulded the course of history and the destiny of an empire. The Persian Empire, one of the greatest empires in history, was renowned not only for its vast territories, but also for its formidable military forces. The Persian army was a complex and sophisticated entity that evolved over centuries, blending diverse cultures and military practices from the regions they conquered. This script will delve into the various facets of the Persian military, including the elite forces known as the Immortals, the strategic use of cavalry and war chariots, the role of the navy in maritime strategy, and notable battles such as Marathon and Thermopylae, which showcased both the strengths and the eventual vulnerabilities of the Persian military machine. Through the lens of these elements, we can understand how the Persian military was not merely a tool of conquest, but a fundamental part of the empire's identity and its ability to project power across vast distances. Among the various components of the Persian military, the Immortals stood out as its elite unit, commanding respect and fear across the ancient world. This unit, numbering exactly 10,000 soldiers, was tasked with both the protection of the king and acting as the front line in battles. The name Immortals is derived from their unique method of sustaining their ranks. Any soldier killed in action was immediately replaced, ensuring that the unit was never less than its full strength. This relentless rotation of manpower not only reinforced their reputation, but also allowed for sustained combat effectiveness. Interestingly, the Immortals comprised not just Persians, but also troops from various conquered territories, reflecting the diversity of the empire itself. The Immortals were famed for their distinctive attire, wearing elaborate tunics adorned with motifs that represented their lineage and status, They carried bows for ranged combat and short swords known as xiston for close encounters. Their training regimen emphasised discipline, cohesion, and tactical acumen, making them a versatile force on the battlefield. Strategically, the Immortals often led assaults, utilising psychological warfare alongside their advanced fighting techniques. The mere presence of these elite soldiers could dishearten enemy forces before a battle even began. Historical accounts suggest that they were instrumental in the Persian advances into Greece and the campaigns throughout the Mediterranean. The elite status of the Immortals also had symbolic implications. Their existence embodied the power and might of the Persian monarchy itself. Each soldier was not just a warrior, but a representation of the king's authority and the empire's imperial ambition. The Persian army's effectiveness was significantly bolstered by its remarkable cavalry and the use of war chariots. Persia's geography and the diverse cultures incorporated into the empire allowed for the development of specialised cavalry units that would become a cornerstone of their military strategy. Persian cavalry was considered one of the most mobile and flexible components of their military forces, enabling commanders to execute rapid manoeuvres and flanking tactics that could disrupt enemy formations. These cavalry units were often composed of well-trained horsemen mounted on swift steeds, capable of carrying out surprise charges against infantry lines and providing critical reconnaissance on enemy positions. The Persian cavalry was known for its discipline and training, incorporating techniques and warfare styles from various regions, including techniques from the steppe nomads, who were exceptional horse riders. In addition to cavalry, the speed and versatility of war chariots played a pivotal role in Persian warfare. These chariots, typically drawn by 2 or 4 horses, served multiple functions, including transport for archers and as platforms for melee combat. They were manned by experienced charioteers and equipped with spoked wheels, which enhanced mobility and durability on rocky or uneven terrain. The use of chariots allowed Persian generals to capitalise on the open terrain of their conflicts, where cavalry and chariot charges could effectively disrupt and break through enemy defences. The combination of rapid movement and the element of surprise often led to devastating outcomes for opponents unprepared for such dynamics. Persian generals understood the terrain well and often utilised it to their advantage, selecting battlegrounds that favoured their mobility over traditional infantry-based warfare. This tactical advantage became apparent in several campaigns throughout the empire's history, as the mobility of the Persian forces enabled them to overcome numerically superior foes who relied on static formations. The Persians mastered the use of combined arms, integrating infantry, cavalry and chariots into cohesive battlefield strategies. Furthermore, the variety of troops allowed the Persian military to adapt to different combat conditions, with cavalry and chariot units providing a crucial layer in offensive and defensive operations. This adaptability was evident during significant campaigns across the empire, including incursions into the Levant and the broader Mediterranean region. As their tactics evolved, the Persians set a military standard that would influence future military leaders by demonstrating that flexibility, speed, and innovation were as crucial as sheer numbers. While often overshadowed by their land forces, the Persian navy played a crucial role in the empire's military strategy, especially in the context of expansive maritime campaigns aimed at controlling trade routes and asserting dominance over the sea. Following the conquest of key coastal regions, Persia developed a formidable naval fleet that incorporated ships from various cultures, including those of the skilled Phoenician seafarers and the Egyptians. This diverse composition contributed to a versatile naval force capable of engaging in both trade protection and warfare. The role of the Persian navy extended beyond mere warfare. It was also critically involved in logistics, transporting troops and supplies across the empire. One of the primary strategies of the Persian navy was to control critical trade routes and supply lines, undermining enemy resources while bolstering their own. By securing maritime routes, the Persian Empire could facilitate the movement of goods, reinforce its armies with supplies, and exert economic pressure on rivals. During the conflicts with Greece, the navy was tasked with transporting troops and executing coastal raids to weaken their adversaries through depriving them of resources and cutting off reinforcements. The Persian fleet was often comprised of triremes, sleek, fast ships powered by rowers and equipped with an arsenal of naval artillery. Naval battles emphasized agility and strategy as opposed to static formations, making seamanship and quick decision-making essential for success. The famous Battle of Salamis in 480 BCE marked a turning point when the Persian fleet faced a decisive defeat, against the Greek city-states under the command of Themistocles. The Persians had intended to use their naval supremacy to crush the Greek resistance, but the narrow waters of the Channel allowed the more agile Greek ships to exploit weaknesses in the larger, more cumbersome Persian fleet. This devastating defeat underscored the importance of naval warfare and the need for strategic adaptability, a lesson that would resonate throughout military history. Despite this setback, the Persian Navy's ability to project power across the seas illustrated not just the importance of maritime strength, but also the multidimensional nature of Persian military tactics. The Persian Navy ultimately emerged as a formidable force in regional affairs, fostering trade and cultural exchanges that would influence the Mediterranean world for centuries to come. Two of the most prominent battles that exemplify the military prowess and strategies of the Persian Empire are Marathon and Thermopylae. The Battle of Marathon, fought in 490 BCE, was a defining moment in the Greco-Persian Wars and serves as a testament to the tactical ingenuity of the Athenian forces. The greatly outnumbered Athenian force confronted the Persian army in a locale chosen deliberately to mitigate the disadvantages posed by the Persian numerical superiority. The Persian commanders, Datis and Artaphernes, sought to exploit their size, but they underestimated the Athenian resolve and strategy. The Athenian general Miltiades executed a brilliant tactical maneuver by enveloping the Persian forces, utilising the terrain effectively to obscure their moves. The result was a stunning victory for the Athenians, sending shockwaves throughout the Persian Empire and altering the course of their military ambitions in Greece. Following the battle, the Athenian victory served to solidify their unity against Persian encroachment, elevating the morale of the Greek city-states while exposing weaknesses in the Persian strategy. Conversely, the Battle of Thermopylae in 480 BCE showcased a different side of Persian warfare, a monumental test of endurance, strategy, and sacrifice against the smaller yet fiercely determined Greek alliance. The Persian king Xerxes sought to overwhelm the Greek defenders with sheer numbers. His forces were composed of various tributary states and ethnic groups allied under the vast Persian banner. Led by King Leonidas of Sparta, a small but valiant group of Greek warriors took a stand at a narrow pass, employing a defensive strategy that capitalized on the terrain. This battle became a symbol of bravery and resistance, where Leonidas and his men fought valiantly against insurmountable odds. They held their ground long enough for other Greek city-states to organize a more effective military coalition. Though the Persians eventually prevailed at Thermopylae, winning a tactical victory, the battle's legacy proved to be too significant to ignore. It galvanized the Greek city-states into a unified response, as Thermopylae became an emblem of the struggle against tyranny and foreign domination. In subsequent engagements, most notably at Plataea the following year, the united Greek forces defeated the Persians, effectively curtailing their ambitions in Greece. The outcomes of both Marathon and Thermopylae illustrated the complexities of warfare, showcasing that leadership, strategy and morale could circumvent raw numbers. They also revealed the vulnerabilities in the Persian approach, though they possessed a powerful and diverse military. Reliance on overwhelming force without the adaptability afforded by smaller specialized units would lead to critical miscalculations. These celebrated battles remain a pivotal part of military history, not merely for their outcomes but for the indelible mark they left on the collective memory of both Persian and Greek cultures. The Persian Empire's military was a complex amalgamation of innovative tactics, elite forces like the Immortals, and strategic use of cavalry, chariots, and naval power. Each of these elements contributed to the Empire's expansion across 3 continents, demonstrating an understanding of warfare that was both sophisticated and adaptable. However, critical battles such as Marathon and Thermopylae revealed vulnerabilities in Persian strategies and underscored the resilience of their Greek adversaries. Ultimately, the legacy of the Persian military remains a compelling study in how diverse strategies and units can shape the outcome of historical conflicts, presenting a rich tapestry of warfare that continues to captivate historians and military enthusiasts alike. The Persian military system laid the groundwork for military organization and tactics in future empires, influencing militaries for centuries to come, an enduring testament to the Persian approach to warfare and statecraft. Throughout history, the Persian military's innovative strategies and elite forces have left an indelible mark on the art of war. Their ability to adapt, combine, and innovate continues to be studied and admired in modern military academies around the world. As we delve deeper into the intricacies of the Persian military, it becomes clear that their legacies transcend the mere conquests and battles. They embody a rich narrative of cultural exchange, strategic intelligence, and the ever-evolving nature of warfare that shaped civilizations across centuries. Persepolis, the ceremonial capital of the Achaemenid Empire, stands as a testament to the architectural ingenuity and ambition of ancient Persia. Founded by Darius I in 518 BCE, this monumental complex was designed to reflect the empire's vast power and cultural richness. Nestled at the foot of the Kui Ramat mountain range, Persepolis was strategically located to serve both as a symbol of imperial authority and as a gathering place for key events, such as the Nowruz, the Persian New Year. The layout of the city reveals a meticulous plan, with its grand terraces, monumental staircases and imposing gates. The Gate of All Nations, adorned with colossal stone figures of bulls and human guardians, serves as an entry point that emphasizes the diversity of the empire and the respect for its various cultures. This architectural marvel was not only functional, it was a canvas showcasing the art, culture and religious beliefs of its creators, characterized by intricate relief carvings and exquisite sculptures that narrated the empire's grand history. The design principles of Persepolis reflect a deep understanding of both urban planning and aesthetics. Architects employed massive stone blocks, hewn from nearby quarries, to construct monumental structures such as the Apadana Palace and the Hall of 100 Columns. The remarkable scale and luxurious materials, such as gold, silver and lapis lazuli, combined with craftsmanship that showcased the finest artisanship of the time, contributed to the site's reputation as an emblem of imperial pride. Persepolis is not merely a collection of buildings, but a cohesive work of art that embodies the ideals of power, unity, and the Persian vision of governance. The site's iconic columned halls were intended as venues for royal receptions, where the king would display his wealth and generosity to dignitaries and subjects alike. These halls, often featuring massive carved columns decorated with floral motifs and animal figures, served to convey a sense of divine protection over the Persian monarchy and legitimized its rule over a diverse empire. Visitors to Persepolis today marvel at the remnants of its vast courtyards, richly decorated walls, and stunning friezes that illustrate scenes of tribute from various nations within the empire. These artistic depictions highlight the Persian ethos of cultural exchange and diplomacy, portraying emissaries from lands as far away as Egypt, Babylonia, and India, who brought gifts and tributes to the great king. The rich iconography of these artworks provides insight into the values and aspirations of the Achaemenid rulers, illustrating the significance of multiculturalism as a cornerstone of their political strategy. Despite the passage of millennia, the grandeur of Persepolis continues to inspire awe in visitors and researchers alike, making it one of the most important archaeological sites in the world. As we explore the legacy of Persepolis, its architectural significance transcends its immediate environment, influencing not only the Persian Empire's subsequent architectural endeavours, but also leaving an indelible mark on the architectural traditions that followed in the regions it once encompassed. Beyond the monumental architecture of Persepolis, the Achaemenid Empire is renowned for its sophisticated infrastructure, particularly its extensive road and canal systems. At the heart of this network was the Royal Road, which spanned approximately 2,500 kilometres from Sardis in modern Turkey to Susa in present-day Iran. This essential artery facilitated trade, communication and military movement, connecting distant parts of the empire and enabling the swift deployment of messages and resources. The road was meticulously engineered, featuring a combination of durable materials and well-planned way stations known as caravanseras, where travellers could rest, resupply and exchange news. The efficiency of the Royal Road exemplified the administrative prowess of the Achaemenids, as it ensured the control and cohesion of an empire that stretched from the eastern Mediterranean to the Indus Valley. The significance of this road network cannot be overstated. It allowed for the seamless transfer of goods, culture and ideas across vast distances, bolstering economic growth and cultural exchange. The prosperity of cities along the Royal Road contributed to the flourishing of trade, with merchants traversing its length to connect with diverse markets and civilizations. In addition to facilitating trade, the road also played a pivotal role in the movement of troops and resources, allowing the Persian army to respond effectively to threats and maintain order within the sprawling empire. This sophisticated administrative infrastructure not only reinforced Persian power, but also helped in establishing a sense of unity and shared identity among the diverse populations living under Achaemenid rule. The Persian canal systems also represent a remarkable feat of engineering, further enhancing the empire's economic vitality and its relationship with neighbouring regions. One of the most notable projects was the canal linking the Nile River to the Red Sea, initiated by Darius I to improve trade routes and access to maritime resources. This ambitious undertaking not only fostered commerce, but also enabled the Persian Empire to exert influence over Egypt, showcasing its technological prowess and administrative efficiency. Such canal systems facilitated irrigation, agricultural development and urban growth, paving the way for a vibrant agrarian economy that supported the empire's vast population. The interconnectedness created by these roads and canals underscores the Achaemenids' understanding of infrastructure as a tool for governance, economic prosperity, and cultural exchange. This intricate web of roads and waterways served to unify a diverse empire, fostering a sense of belonging among its subjects. As communication improved across regions, the empire developed a more cohesive identity, blending various cultures, languages, and traditions. The Persian influence extended beyond its immediate borders, as neighbouring civilizations observed and sometimes adopted similar infrastructure models in their own development. The legacy of Persian engineering is evident in subsequent empires, which recognized the importance of infrastructure for the effective administration of vast territories. Consequently, the road and canal systems of the Achaemenid Empire stand as a symbol of Persian innovation, contributing significantly to the empire's enduring influence on the history of architecture, urban planning, and governance. The architectural achievements of ancient Persia have had a profound and lasting influence on subsequent architectural styles and practices, resonating through centuries and across continents. The grandeur of Persepolis serves as a key reference point for later architectural endeavours, inspiring subsequent empires and civilizations in their pursuit of monumental grandeur. The use of large stone blocks, sophisticated column designs, and detailed reliefs became hallmarks of Persian architecture that were emulated by later architects, including those in the Hellenistic period. This blend of Persian and Hellenistic styles is vividly exhibited in places like the city of Ecbatana, where grand palaces featured columns reminiscent of those found in Persepolis, while also incorporating local artistic traditions. The architectural vocabulary pioneered by the Persians transcended cultural boundaries, merging with the aesthetics of Greek and Roman architectural principles, leading to the emergence of a hybrid architectural language. Features such as the intricately carved pillars, monumental gateways, and extensive use of decorative motifs laid the groundwork for developments in subsequent architectural styles, particularly during the Classical era. The Roman Empire, in particular, adopted several elements from Persian architecture, including the use of grand arches, vaulted ceilings, and a focus on extensive public spaces. This relationship, forged through both direct interaction and cultural exchange, illustrates the impact of Persian architecture on the Mediterranean world, contributing to the architectural legacy that continues to be referenced by modern architects and builders. Moreover, the influence of Persian architecture can be seen reflected in the Islamic architectural tradition that blossomed in the centuries following the rise of Islam in the 7th century CE. The incorporation of Persian structural techniques, decorative arts, and urban planning principles significantly contributed to the richness of Islamic architecture. The use of intricate tile work, expansive gardens, and grand mosques with soaring domes and minarets echoes the design philosophies of ancient Persia, demonstrating a continuity of cultural values and artistic expression. Cities such as Isfahan and Shiraz became exemplars of this architectural synthesis, showcasing the enduring legacy of Persian design principles that merged seamlessly with Islamic aesthetics to create breathtaking urban landscapes. As a key player in the production of cultural and architectural knowledge, Persia's legacy continues to inspire contemporary architecture. Modern architects are increasingly looking to the past to draw lessons and inspiration for their designs. Elements such as harmonious spatial relationships, the integration of nature within urban spaces, and the use of intricate detailing can be traced back to the principles established by ancient Persian builders. The ability of Persian architecture to adapt, evolve, and influence future generations reinforces the idea that architecture, much like culture itself, is an ever-flowing river of inspiration, learning, and innovation. this rich historical tradition manifests in today's cities, the tragic destruction of Persepolis by Alexander the Great in 330 BCE marks a pivotal moment in ancient history, symbolising not only the end of the Achaemenid Empire but also the shifting paradigms of power in the ancient world. Following his conquests, Alexander sought to consolidate his power over Persia and assert his authority. With Persepolis, the ceremonial heart of the former Achaemenid Empire, he made a statement, one that was inherently about both rectifying the Persian historical narrative and reshaping the cultural landscape. The reasons behind Alexander's decision to set fire to Persepolis are complex. They are often interpreted as acts of revenge for the destruction wrought by Xerxes during the Greco-Persian Wars, as well as an assertion of his own identity as a conqueror. The catastrophic event is often described as both a symbol of cultural loss and a transition of power. The grandeur of Persepolis, which had taken decades to construct, was reduced to ruins in a matter of days. The flames that engulfed the magnificent halls and gardens not only obliterated a key cultural centre of the Persian Empire, but also altered the course of history and the narrative of subsequent civilizations. Once a vibrant hub of political and ceremonial activities, the ruins of Persepolis served as a ghostly reminder of the power that had once been exerted over a vast territory, now subsumed under the umbrella of Alexander's empire. In the wake of this destruction, remnants of Persian culture were preserved, but they quickly became etched in the collective memory as a bygone epoch, eclipsed by the rising influence of Hellenistic culture in the region. What Alexander left behind was not merely a ruin. He left a cautionary tale about the fragility of power and the ephemeral nature of empires. This sense of loss permeates the historical narratives that follow, influencing how subsequent generations viewed both Persian grandeur and Greek conquest. The scale of destruction prompted later historians to reflect on the wisdom of preserving cultural legacies in the face of imperial ambitions. As successors of Alexander took over fragments of the vast empire, the architectural legacy of Persia became a touchstone for subsequent rulers who sought to honour and incorporate elements of Persian design, demonstrating that while physical structures may be destroyed, the influence of a culture continues to resonate through its artistry and ideas. Ultimately, the story of Persepolis and its destruction underscores the cyclical nature of history, where empires rise and fall, where architectural brilliance can become the victim of geopolitics, and where the echoes of the past shape the identity of the present. The ruins of Persepolis today stand as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, drawing visitors from across the globe who come to appreciate the remarkable achievements of Persian architecture and to reflect on the historical lessons embodied in its fall. As we examine the intricate layers of Persian civilization through its architecture, we are reminded that even in destruction, there is a wealth of knowledge and inspiration that continues to enrich our understanding of human creativity, resilience, and the legacy of cultural heritage that endures through the ages. Ancient Persia was renowned for its sophisticated and diverse clothing styles, influenced by various regions and cultures within the vast Persian Empire. The garment of choice among the elite was often the kandis, a long robe made of rich fabrics. This robe catered to both functionality and the display of wealth, featuring intricate embroidery and luxurious materials such as silk and wool. The use of vibrant colours and meticulous patterning was indicative of the wearer's social status, with the wealthiest individuals donning clothing adorned with jewels and gold threads. Clothing also served an important social function, as it helped to convey the wearer's identity, occupation, and sometimes their role in the imperial hierarchy. In contrast to the elaborate attire of the nobility, the common people of Persia typically wore simpler garments. The basic attire consisted of tunics and trousers, accommodating the requirements of daily labour while still allowing for comfort. The trousers, often wide-legged, were known as varzaneh, facilitating movement and practical in an agrarian society. Footwear varied, with sandals being common among all classes. However, even among the lower strata, regional styles emerged, reflecting local traditions and climates. The importance of textiles in Persian culture cannot be understated, as they were not merely functional, but also integral to artistic expression. Accessories played a significant role in Persian fashion, with jewellery crafted from precious metals and stones adorning both men and women. Men commonly wore earrings and necklaces, while women adorned themselves with intricate headdresses and elaborate necklaces. The significance of adornment extended beyond mere aesthetics. Jewellery often served as a status symbol and displayed one's wealth and connections. Furthermore, workshops dedicated to textile production flourished, with artisans mastering techniques like weaving and dyeing, which contributed to the richness of Persian fashion. The evolution of clothing styles throughout the Persian Empire reflected its history, illustrating the interactions between various cultures and the artistic sensibilities of its people. In the social context, clothing also represented traditions and values. The modesty principles, especially in relation to women's attire, indicated cultural norms. Women were expected to wear garments that reflected both their respectability and the dignity of their families, often dictated by their marital status and social standing. Thus, the fashion and clothing of ancient Persia became emblematic of not only personal identity, but also of complex social dynamics that prevailed in this remarkable civilization. Food played a pivotal role in ancient Persian culture, serving as a reflection of societal hierarchy and communal traditions. The diet of ancient Persians was diverse, drawing from a rich agricultural base that included grains, fruits, and vegetables. Staple foods consisted of barley, wheat, and rice, which were often accompanied by an array of herbs and spices that highlighted the Persian affinity for flavour and aroma. Additionally, various types of meat, including lamb, goat, and poultry, were integral to the Persian diet, especially during significant occasions or feasts. The art of cooking was revered, and culinary skills were often passed down through generations, signifying a level of prestige for families known for their fine dining establishments. Feasts and royal banquets were grand affairs that showcased the wealth and power of the elite. These events were not merely for sustenance but were marked by elaborate displays of food artistry, often described as a sensory experience filled with colours, tastes, and fragrances. Tables would be adorned with a plethora of dishes including stews, grilled meats, and a variety of desserts. The celebration of Nowruz, the Persian New Year, epitomised the cultural importance of food in communal bonding. Families and friends would gather to share dishes that symbolised renewal and prosperity, reinforcing social ties. During royal banquets, everything was taken to an exaggerated level, from the variety of food served to the grandeur of the surrounding decor. Attendance was a privilege reserved for the elite, and the king would often use these events to display his generosity and kingly power. Customary entertainment included musicians and dancers, creating an atmosphere of celebration that further emphasised the importance of social hierarchy. The cultural significance of these feasts extended beyond mere enjoyment. They served as tools for diplomacy, as nobles and dignitaries would be invited to strengthen political alliances through shared meals and hospitality. Moreover, the Persian sense of hospitality and communal eating rituals were essential aspects of daily life. Meals would often be communal, highlighting the value of togetherness and community over individualism. Dining together was a ritual that reinforced bonds among families and friends. Traditional Persian meals were served on a large cloth spread on the ground, a practice that fostered a feeling of equality among diners. The intimacy of shared meals allowed for dialogues that nourished both the body and spirit, reflecting the essence of Persian culture that valued human connection as much as culinary delight. In ancient Persia, women held a multifaceted role defined by societal expectations and cultural norms. While women's rights and statuses varied significantly depending on class and wealth, they participated actively in both family and community life. Elite women enjoyed privileges that allowed them to be educated and involved in artistic pursuits, often influencing literature and the arts. Royal and noble women often wielded substantial political power behind the scenes, shaping their husbands' and sons' political careers. Historical accounts illustrate instances where queens became effective rulers in their own right, contributing to governance and diplomacy. Nevertheless, the daily life of women, particularly in common households, revolved around managing domestic affairs. Women were responsible for maintaining the household, which included cooking, child-rearing, and other domestic tasks. The women's role was vital for the economic well-being of the family. Thus their labour, though typically undervalued, underpinned the very fabric of Persian society. Crafts such as weaving were predominantly female domains, and women actively engaged in artisan activities to support their families. Moreover, the cultural perceptions of women in Persia were shaped by ideology and literature. Women have often been depicted as both virtuous and subservient in some texts, while others showcased their strength, intelligence, and independence. Literary works highlight the contrast between the roles of women in urban centres versus rural communities, illustrating varying degrees of freedom and influence within societal structures. Despite a patriarchal framework, stories of women defying norms seeped into cultural narratives, showing resilience and complexity in their identities. Women's role transcended the boundaries of domestic duties. They were fundamental to social and cultural transformations within Persian society. As centres of various artistic pursuits, they contributed to preserving and disseminating Persian folklore, music and poetry. The shared experiences of women often became themes in literature, allowing their voices to resonate throughout history. Over time, the role of women in Persia became emblematic of the changing tides of cultural, political, and social paradigms, reflecting broader global transformations that shape the view of women's rights and agency. Persian contributions to art and literature are celebrated as cornerstones of world heritage, showcasing an intricate blend of elegance, depth, and philosophical insight. The arts flourished in ancient Persia, driven by influences from diverse cultures within its expansive empire. Persian miniature painting, noted for its exquisite detail and vibrant colours, captured the essence of life in its varied forms, often depicting historical events, romantic tales, and mythological themes. These miniatures were not only ornamental, but served as narratives that preserved cultural memory and identity, reflecting a sophisticated artistic tradition that continues to inspire across ages. Literature in ancient Persia exhibited remarkable richness, with notable figures like Ferdowsi, Hafez, and Rumi at the forefront. The Shahnameh, or Book of Kings by Ferdowsi, is a monumental epic recounting Iran's mythical and historical past, woven with themes of heroism, glory, and destiny. This literary masterpiece reflects the Persian reverence for storytelling and the importance of oral traditions. Similarly, Rumi's poetry transformed human experiences into universal themes of love, spirituality, and longing, resonating with a broader audience and transcending cultural boundaries. The philosophical depth embedded in these literary works offered profound reflections on ethics, existence, and the human condition, demonstrating the intellectual vibrancy of Persian thought. Persian art was not limited to painting and literature. It encompassed architecture and calligraphy, which also played a significant role in expressing the grandeur of Persian civilization. Architectural marvels such as the palaces of Persepolis and the intricate designs found in mosques and gardens showcase the architectural innovation characteristic of Persian builders. The blending of functionality with beauty is prominently visible in these structures, emphasizing symmetry, intricate tile work, and harmonious layouts that were as aesthetically pleasing as they were spiritually uplifting. The influence of Persian architecture extends beyond its borders, inspiring styles and designs across the Middle East and beyond throughout centuries. As the Persian Empire expanded, its cultural contributions also reached new heights as they facilitated interactions with other civilizations, enriching a global tapestry of artistic and literary heritage. The legacy of Persian art and literature continues to be celebrated today, serving as a testament to the enduring spirit of creativity and cultural expression. Through intricate art forms and profound writings, the Persians have shaped not only their cultural identity, but have also imparted wisdom and beauty that resonate across time and space, leaving an indelible mark on humanity's collective heritage. The Persian Empire, which reached its zenith during the Achaemenid dynasty in the 6th and 5th centuries BCE, was remarkable not only for its vast territorial expanse, but also for its intricate and far-reaching trade networks. At its height, the empire stretched from the Indus Valley in the east to the Aegean Sea in the west, encompassing a diverse array of cultures, resources, and people. This geographical diversity facilitated not only the dynamic interchange of goods, but also the flow of ideas and technologies. Vast networks of caravan routes traversed deserts, mountains, and rivers, interlinking major cities like Persepolis, Babylon, and Sardis, where merchants exchanged commodities such as textiles, spices, precious metals, and agricultural products. These trade routes served as conduits for cultural exchange, fostering interactions that transcended ethnic and linguistic barriers. The Silk Road, which would later gain prominence as a crucial trade artery, had its early foundations laid through these Persian trade routes, exemplifying the empire's role as a conduit of international commerce. Trade in Persia was not limited to luxury items. The network facilitated the movement of everyday goods that were crucial for local economies. agricultural products, staple foods, and raw materials were routinely transported along these routes, connecting urban centres and rural landscapes. The empire's extensive irrigation systems, particularly in regions like Mesopotamia, supported large-scale agricultural production, creating surpluses that could be traded. Persian merchants took advantage of the diverse climates within the empire to ensure a steady supply of various goods, from the fruits of the Fertile Crescent to the exotic spices of the Indus region. Merchant communities flourished as they exchanged local products for foreign commodities, enriching both their own economies and those of the lands they traded with. The amalgamation of various cultures within the empire, combined with the free flow of goods, led to a flourishing of innovation in both production methods and the types of goods offered in the marketplaces, making Persian trade networks a cornerstone of the ancient economy. The establishment of the Royal Road marked a significant milestone in enhancing the Persian trade system. Stretching nearly 1,700 miles from Susa in Persia to Sardis in Anatolia, this monumental road was integral to both military and economic operations. Originally conceived for the swift movement of troops and royal couriers, the Royal Road rapidly transformed into a vital commercial artery. Its efficient design allowed for a reduction in travel time, enabling traders to transport goods more rapidly and securely than ever before. The famous saying attributed to the ancient Persian couriers, "Neither snow nor rain nor heat nor gloom of night stays these couriers from the swift completion of their appointed rounds," underscores the emphasis on reliability that the road embodied. With its remarkable connectivity, the road established regular trade routes that facilitated the exchange of goods and information across vast distances. Furthermore, the Royal Road had a profound impact on local economies along its route. The presence of well-maintained relay stations known as caravasar provided essential services such as fresh horses, food and shelter, ensuring that caravans could travel efficiently and consistently. These rest houses became hubs of commerce themselves, where local goods could be traded and travellers could interact. The integration of various cultures along the Royal Road spurred an increase in the diversity of goods exchanged. Notably, the convergence of different trade routes fostered a melting pot of ideas, technologies, and customs, enriching the cultural fabric of the empire. Cities along the road like Ecbatana and Babylon began to flourish as economic centres, making them increasingly attractive for merchants and artisans alike. This influx of trade wealth contributed significantly to their development, leading to advancements in infrastructure and urban planning, making them vital nodes of commerce within the empire and connecting them more closely to the Mediterranean and the broader world. The introduction of standardized coinage in the Persian Empire marked a dramatic shift in economic practices that revolutionized trade and commerce across the vast empire. Prior to the advent of coinage, trading was primarily conducted through barter, a system fraught with complexities and limitations concerning the variability of goods' values. Around the 6th century BCE, under the reign of King Darius I, the introduction of the first minted coins significantly facilitated economic transactions. These coins, made from precious metals such as gold, silver and electrum, standardized the value of currency, allowing merchants to engage in trade without the complications of barter, thereby streamlining the process of commerce. The introduction of the daric, a gold coin named after Darius, showcased the empire's wealth and authority, while also serving as a critical medium of exchange. The advent of coinage brought profound advantages to the Persian economy. It allowed the emergence of a more complex economic structure, one in which transactions could occur with greater ease and efficiency. Merchants could sell goods across vast distances with much confidence, as the value represented by coins was widely understood and accepted within and outside the empire. The ability to carry coins enabled traders to engage in commerce over longer distances, facilitating not only trade but also cultural exchanges that contributed to the enrichment of Persian society. The increased efficiency of trade fostered by coinage fueled economic growth, enabling merchants to reinvest profits into their enterprises or broaden their trading networks. Additionally, the taxation system benefited from the introduction of coinage, as the Persian state could levy taxes in a consistent medium. This increased revenue allowed the empire to fund infrastructure projects, such as roads and communications, and maintain its military might, perpetuating the cycle of growth and commerce. Furthermore, the impact of coinage extended beyond the immediate economic benefits. Coins often served as a canvas for cultural expression. featuring imagery of kings, deities, or symbols representing the empire. This promoted a sense of unity and stability within the diverse territories of the empire and underscored the power of the Persian authority. The use of a standardized currency also enhanced the empire's relations with neighboring states and societies, as it provided a recognizable means of trade that encouraged cross-cultural exchanges and stimulated commerce. Persian coinage set the precedent for future empires in the region, influencing how trade and economy operated for centuries and demonstrating the instrumental role that currency could play in promoting stability and growth. The Persian Empire was characterized by its abundant production of diverse goods, many of which found their way to international markets, establishing Persia as a major player in ancient trade. One of the most notable exports was Persian textiles, particularly luxurious woolen garments and intricately woven carpets that became highly sought after throughout the Mediterranean and Near Eastern regions. Persian carpets, known for their intricate designs and rich colours, were not just simple floor coverings, but were seen as masterpieces of art, often imbued with cultural symbolism. The craftsmanship involved in producing these textiles reflected the sophistication of Persian artisanship and contributed to the empire's reputation for luxury goods. Their lasting influence can still be felt today, as modern carpet weaving is often traced back to the ancient techniques perfected during the Persian Empire. In addition to textiles, Persia was also known for its agricultural exports, including grains such as wheat and barley, as well as a variety of fruits and vegetables cultivated in the empire's fertile plains, particularly in Mesopotamia and along the banks of the Nile. This agricultural abundance became a cornerstone of the Persian economy, enabling trade not only within the empire's vast territories, but also beyond its borders. Persian wheat, for example, was transported to far-off lands, nourishing populations and establishing Persia as a critical food supplier to surrounding regions. Additionally, the empire's strategic location allowed Persian merchants to access the Mediterranean trade routes, connecting the east to the west and facilitating the exchange of goods like oil, wine, and valuable raw materials such as metals and gemstones. Moreover, luxury goods such as gold, silver, ivories and gemstones also featured prominently in Persia's exports, showcasing the opulence and resource wealth of the empire. Artisans created extraordinary jewellery, decorative items, and exquisite tableware, which became highly desirable commodities in the courts of nearby kingdoms, where they were often seen as symbols of status and power. The Persian Empire's rich mineral deposits supplied the raw materials required to craft these luxury items, allowing for a vibrant artisanal economy. Additionally, the exploration and conquest of territories enriched the Persian economy through the acquisition of exotic goods, such as the silk and spices of the East, which were not only valuable, but also helped to establish Persia as a nexus of trade linking different parts of the world. Lastly, the Persian Empire was also known for its mastery of metallurgy and craftsmanship, producing weapons and tools that were exported and admired for their quality. Persian swords, known for their fine steel and craftsmanship, were sought after by warriors and rulers alike, reinforcing the empire's influence in military innovation and trade. These goods transcended borders, creating a web of trade relationships that continued long after the decline of the Persian Empire. The culmination of these exports and the empire's ability to adapt and thrive in a diverse economic landscape highlighted Persia's role as a major economic player in the ancient world, while fostering relationships that would endure well beyond its historical moment. In summaries, the Persian Empire's economy and trade system were complex, sophisticated, and pivotal in shaping the world during its time. From the diverse and extensive trade networks that facilitated the flow of goods and ideas across its vast territories to infrastructural advancements like the royal road that enhanced commerce, the empire exhibited a dynamic economy. The introduction of standardized coinage transformed trade practices, underscoring the importance of currency in economic stability and growth. With its rich agricultural base, artistic exports, and skilled craftsmanship, the Persian Empire created a cultural and economic landscape that not only enriched its own society, but also significantly influenced neighbouring regions and subsequent historical developments in trade and commerce. Today, the legacy of the Persian economy continues to be felt, highlighting the timeless principles of trade that transcend cultures and epochs. Zoroastrianism, one of the world's oldest monotheistic religions, was founded by the prophet Zoroaster, or Zarathustra, in ancient Persia around the 6th century BCE. At its core, Zoroastrianism espouses the concept of dualism, which posits the existence of two opposing forces in the universe: Ahura Mazda, the supreme spirit of good, and Angra Mainyu, or Ahriman, the spirit of chaos and evil. This binary opposition underlines the central belief in the eternal struggle between light and darkness, truth and lie, which impels followers to align themselves with righteousness. Adherents believe that human beings play a crucial role in this cosmic battle by exercising free will in making moral choices. The religion emphasizes the importance of individual judgment and accountability, aligning itself with ethical principles that encourage actions beneficial to oneself and to society. A pivotal component of Zoroastrian belief is the concept of ATI, meaning the path of righteousness. This philosophical underpinning teaches that followers must engage in good thoughts, good words, and good deeds, an ethical triad that remains sacrosanct within the Zoroastrian worldview. These tenets foster a life of integrity and virtue, pushing believers toward communal harmony and social justice. Moreover, the Zoroastrian cosmology introduces the concept of a saviour figure, Saoshyant, who is prophesied to arrive at the end of time to restore truth and purity to the world. This eschatological belief reflects a hope for ultimate justice and the triumph of good over evil, which resonates throughout the scripture of the Avesta, Zoroastrianism's sacred text, and serves to inspire adherents amidst the challenges of existence. Beliefs surrounding the creation of the world also hold significant weight within Zoroastrianism. The religion teaches that Ahura Mazda created the world in 7 stages, each representing a distinct aspect of existence, ranging from the celestial bodies in the sky to the diverse forms of life flourishing on Earth. Notably, humans are seen as a vital part of this creation, gifted with free will and moral agency. The concept of nature is thus held in high esteem. Water, fire, earth, and air are regarded as sacred elements deserving of respect and protection. Consequently, Zoroastrians practice environmental stewardship, fostering a deep sense of responsibility toward their surroundings, aligning with modern principles of ecological conservation in a contemporary context. The worldview presented by Zoroastrianism elevates the environment to a sacred status, urging believers to preserve it rather than exploit it. This rich tapestry of beliefs establishes Zoroastrianism not just as a religion, but as a comprehensive guide for achieving a harmonious existence with both the divine and the natural world. Zoroastrian ethics have profound implications on social interactions and governance, with teachings that advocate for the welfare of all and a commitment to justice. The longevity and continuity of these beliefs mark their significance in Persian culture and the broader context of religious history. Zoroastrianism has endured various historical challenges, yet its core beliefs have remained remarkably resilient. As a foundational pillar of Persian identity, it has influenced societal norms, ethical considerations, and outlooks on governance throughout centuries. Even with the advent of other major religions, Zoroastrian principles such as dualism and moral responsibility can be traced in different forms within subsequent faith systems. Thus, Zoroastrianism stands not merely as an ancient religious tradition, but as a living legacy that continues to inform spiritual practices and ethical reflections across cultures. Fire temples, or agiari, serve as the central place of worship in Zoroastrianism, embodying the deep reverence for fire, which is seen as a symbol of purity and divine light. Fire is not merely a material element within Zoroastrian practice, it is conceived as a manifestation of Ahura Mazda's eternal presence. The flames symbolize the continuous fight against chaos and darkness, reflecting the overarching dualistic ethos of the religion. The act of worship at fire temples involves bowing respectfully facing the sacred fire, which is kept burning continuously as a representation of the divine. This practice underscores a profound symbolic connection between the worshippers and the divine, with fire representing a bridge to the spiritual realm. Fire temples also play a vital social and cultural role within the Zoroastrian community. They act as community centres where rituals, festivals and gatherings are held, forging ties among adherents and reinforcing communal identity. For instance, the celebration of important life events such as births, marriages and funerals is steeped in ritual significance and often unfolds within the sacred premises of these temples. Such communal gatherings foster a sense of belonging and continuity, allowing generations to connect with their ancestral traditions and reinforce their identity as part of a larger spiritual community. This communal aspect lies at the heart of Zoroastrianism, which places immense importance on the concept of community service and collective worship. Furthermore, the architectural design of fire temples, characterized by an iconic domed structure, supports the theological importance placed on light and purity. Each architectural element symbolizes various aspects of Zoroastrian cosmology, infusing every aspect of the physical space with spiritual meaning. The purity of the fire, situated at the center of the temple, serves as a metaphorical reminder of an individual's spiritual journey toward enlightenment and truth. The structure of the temple facilitates the gathering of light, echoing the Zoroastrian belief that everything emerges from divine light. This aligns with the idea that the community is nourished and rejuvenated through a shared space fostering collective spirituality. The maintenance of fire temples is also illustrative of the practical elements of Zoroastrian ethics. Cleanliness and orderliness are paramount. The physical upkeep of these temples reflects the teachings of purity central to Zoroastrian thought. Daily rituals, such as offerings of sandalwood and the recitation of prayers, underscore the communal commitment to spirituality and ethical living. The spiritual leaders, or mobeds, are entrusted with the duty of preserving and managing these temples. They are tasked not only with officiating rituals, but also with educating the community about the core beliefs of Zoroastrianism. Their responsibility establishes a dynamic interplay between religious leaders and the community, forged under the auspices of the sacred flame, illuminating the paths of knowledge, ritual and communal cohesion. In sum, fire temples emerge as monumental embodiments of the Zoroastrian belief system. They represent a sanctuary where believers can gather in unity, transcending individual struggles while sharing a commitment to the principles of light, truth, and righteousness. As places of connection, reflection, and worship, fire temples reinforce the integrity of the community and nurture the spiritual aspirations of adherents. In a broader societal context, they serve as reminders of the cultural heritage of Persian civilization, embodying the resilience of Zoroastrianism through centuries of change and diversification. Within these sacred spaces the flame burns brightly, a beacon of hope, integrity, and a commitment to living a life aligned with the eternal principles of good as articulated in Zoroastrian belief. One of the notable aspects of the Persian Empire, significantly during the Achaemenid period, was its unparalleled religious tolerance, which can be traced to the principles of Zoroastrianism itself. Unlike many contemporary empires that often impose their religious beliefs upon conquered populations, the Achaemenids fostered a policy of inclusiveness. This approach was rooted in the Zoroastrian tenets of respect for moral choice, and the conviction that individuals should align themselves with the divine according to their own paths. This allowed various religions to flourish, and the policy of tolerance played a pivotal role in maintaining social stability across the expansive empire, which encompassed diverse cultures, languages, and belief systems. Persian kings, such as Cyrus the Great and Darius the Vaz, made significant historical strides in affirming this ethos of tolerance. Cyrus, known for his respect for local customs and religious beliefs, issued the Cyrus Cylinder, often referred to as the First Charter of Human Rights. This document proclaimed religious freedom for all the subjects of the empire and exemplified the Persian state's commitment to safeguarding the diverse cultural and spiritual practices within its realms. The choice to allow various peoples to worship according to their traditions not only enhanced the loyalty of those subjects, but also inspired a sense of unity within the empire, as people could coexist despite their religious differences. This was particularly significant in a time of widespread cultural exchange, resulting in a rich tapestry of ideas, beliefs and practices that cultivated a more holistic understanding of spirituality. The Persian commitment to religious tolerance further extended to practical governance. Local satraps, governors, were encouraged to preserve local customs, and disputes arising from religious differences were settled through dialogues rather than force. This implemented framework created an environment conducive to learning from one another, paving the way for interfaith interactions that fostered mutual respect and understanding. Various cults and religions, including the Babylonian Jewish and religious practices of the indigenous peoples of Persia, coexisted harmoniously, breaking down cultural borders. The Persian Empire served as a melting pot, enhancing notions of shared humanity that went beyond mere coexistence and developed into communal enrichment. Furthermore, the legacy of Persian religious tolerance has had long-lasting effects on regions far beyond Persia's borders. As Zoroastrianism inspired dialogues among different faiths, it also encouraged the very notion of coexistence. The teachings about moral choice and individual accountability, integral to Zoroastrianism, echoed through various subsequent religions. For example, during the later spread of Islam and Christianity, Persian influences contributed to a framework that fostered discussions about faith, ethics, and communal responsibilities, resulting in dialogues that shaped philosophical and theological developments in these emerging religions. Ultimately, the spirit of tolerance laid down during the Achaemenid Empire persists as an inspirational model for addressing religious conflicts today. It serves as a reminder of the importance of understanding and cherishing the principles of coexistence amid diversity. The influence of Zoroastrianism on subsequent religions is both profound and multifaceted, particularly evident in the development of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. The dualistic cosmology that is foundational in Zoroastrian belief set forth the idea that there exists not just a singular divine force, but also a counterpart of evil, which influenced later Jewish texts, especially during the Babylonian exile. The concepts of heaven and hell, angels and demons, and a final judgment, integral to Christians and Muslims, can find their roots in Zoroastrian eschatological teachings. These themes illustrate a significant syncretism, where elements of faith from Zoroastrianism seeped into other religious practices, thereby enriching the spiritual landscapes of these traditions. Moreover, the Zoroastrian emphasis on moral responsibility and individual accountability also resonated with later religious principles. The ethical triad of good thoughts, good words, and good deeds provided a moral framework that was echoed in the teachings of various prophets and religious leaders who followed. The notion that actions on earth lead to spiritual consequences, along with the idea of a saviour figure who would arrive to redeem the faithful, has found parallels in Christian theology, particularly in the concept of Christ as the saviour. This theological interplay underscores not only the compatibility of moral teachings across faiths, but also the shared spiritual aspirations of humanity throughout history. Furthermore, the Persian practice of rituals and communal worship in fire temples shaped the liturgical traditions of later religions. The importance of sacred communal gatherings, embodied in the Zoroastrian model, found its expression in synagogue services and church ceremonies, where collective worship reinforces individual faith. As Zoroastrianism celebrated the interconnectedness of life and maintained reverence for the natural elements as divine creations, these threads also permeated through to ecological ethics in various spiritual traditions, including forms of Islamic stewardship and the Christian appreciation of creation. It is this appreciation of the natural world that underscores a shared reverence for environments, fostering an ethos that continues to resonate in contemporary discussions around climate and sustainability. While the historical interactions between Zoroastrianism and other belief systems might not always be directly documented, the underlying currents of influence are remarkable. The ancient Persian Empire served as a crossroad for cultural and ideological exchanges, enabling Zoroastrian beliefs to shape subsequent religious thoughts and practices across various geographies. The adaptability and resilience of Persian religious ideals amidst changing political landscapes provide an important lesson on the interconnectivity of belief systems, the universality of spiritual truths, and the possibility of coexistence in an increasingly diverse world. Today, as we reflect on the teachings and ideas that emerge from Zoroastrianism, we recognize their enduring legacy, not just as theological frameworks, but also as expressions of humanity's quest for meaning, justice, and spiritual connection against the backdrop of an ever. In conclusion, the Persian religion, primarily epitomized by Zoroastrianism, offers a rich framework of beliefs that underpin the historical essence of Persian culture and promote values of morality, community, and respect for diversity. The core tenets of Zoroastrianism highlight the importance of individual moral responsibility and the enduring struggle between good and evil, instilling a profound ethical framework within Persian society. The significance of fire temples as centres of worship and community interaction reinforces the shared faith that sustains Zoroastrian identity across generations, constituting a vital aspect of communal cohesion. Additionally, the Persian approach to religious tolerance, rooted in Zoroastrian principles, establishes a model for resilience and coexistence among diverse belief systems. This influence extends beyond its own confines into the theological development of subsequent religions, showcasing a remarkable intertwining of beliefs that enriches the spiritual discourse among humanity. In our contemporary world, marked by religious plurality, the legacy of Persian spirituality serves as a poignant reminder of our collective journey toward understanding and empathy across cultural and religious divides. The teachings and principles stemming from Zoroastrianism continue to resonate, inspiring a global quest for justice, ethical living, and communal harmony. The Greco-Persian Wars, a series of conflicts that pitted the city-states of Greece against the expansive Persian Empire, were underpinned by a multitude of complex factors. One pivotal cause was the rise of the Persian Empire under Cyrus the Great and his successors, who sought to expand their territory and influence. The geographical proximity of the Persian Empire to the Greek city-states, particularly in Asia Minor, made inevitable clashes over land and resources. The Ionian Revolt, 499 to 493 BCE, marked a significant flashpoint as Greek city-states in Asia Minor rose against Persian rule, seeking autonomy and self-governance. This rebellion was fueled by a growing desire for independence and was supported tacitly by mainland Greece, mainly Athens, which provided ships and military resources. Additionally, the burgeoning rivalry between Athens and the Persian Empire served as a catalyst for war. As Athens emerged as a naval power following its victory over the Persians, its ambitions threatened Persian interests in the Aegean Sea. Athens' burgeoning democratic ideology stood in stark contrast to the autocratic Persian rule, cultivating a cultural and political rivalry that would contribute to escalating tensions. The Persian response to the rebellious Ionian city-states was to punish Athens, viewing its support for the revolt as a direct affront. Darius I, the Persian king, was determined to subjugate Greece, viewing it as an opportunity to expand his empire and assert dominance over the eastern Mediterranean. Moreover, the cultural and ideological chasm between the Greeks and Persians played a role in the war's escalation. The Greeks valued their city-state autonomy, democratic principles and cultural practices, while the Persians operated under a system of centralized imperial rule. This cultural divide fostered a sense of heroism and valor among the Greeks, painting the conflict as one of freedom versus tyranny. The Persian Empire's reputation for harsh treatment of conquered people fueled Greek fears and resentment, solidifying their resolve to resist Persian domination. Thus, the desire for autonomy, coupled with mutual disdain and a quest for territorial expansion, set the stage for the Greco-Persian Wars, an inevitable confrontation between two starkly different civilizations. The Greco-Persian Wars were marked by several decisive battles that showcased not only military strategy and innovation, but also the valour and tenacity of the Greek forces. One of the most significant engagements occurred in 490 BCE at the Battle of Marathon. The Persian army, led by Datis and Artaphernes, landed on the plains of Marathon, primarily aiming at the Athenian city-state and its burgeoning democracy. The Athenians, numbering around 10,000 hoplites, faced an enemy force that potentially numbered in the tens of thousands. However, under the command of General Miltiades, the Greeks employed strategic acumen, utilising their superior knowledge of the terrain and the phalanx formation to outmaneuver the Persians. The Athenian forces launched a surprise attack, catching the Persians off guard and inflicting heavy casualties. The victory at Marathon not only showcased the effectiveness of the Greek military, but also had profound psychological implications, bolstering Greek confidence and determination across the city-states. The news of the Greek victory spread rapidly, igniting a sense of unity among the otherwise fragmented city-states. Several years later, the naval battle of Salamis in 480 BCE became a defining moment in the war, securing a crucial victory for the Greek coalition against Xerxes' massive fleet. Xerxes, having invaded Greece with a colossal army, sought to contact and control the Aegean Sea as a decisive strategy to weaken Greek resolve. Themistocles, the Athenian commander, recognized the opportunity to engage the Persians in the narrow straits of Salamis, where the Persian fleet's size would become a liability. Despite being outnumbered, the Greek triremes, built for speed and maneuverability, capitalized on their strategic advantage. The Greek forces lured the Persian fleet into the confined waters, leading to a chaotic engagement which turned into a rout for the Persians. Estimates indicate that the Persian fleet suffered substantial losses, with with hundreds of ships destroyed, fundamentally shifting the balance of power in favour of the Greeks. The victory at Salamis not only curtailed Xerxes' ambitions, but also solidified Athenian dominance in the Aegean region, marking a turning point in the wars. These battles exemplified the blend of military ingenuity, strategic prowess, and unfaltering resolve exhibited by the Greek city-states, laying the groundwork for a subsequent wave of Greek unity in their struggle against Persian hegemony. The failed invasion of Greece by Xerxes I in 480 BCE marked a significant chapter in the Greco-Persian Wars, illustrating the limits of Persian military might against the resilient spirit of the Greek city-states. Following the death of Darius I, Xerxes aimed to avenge his father's defeat at Marathon and sought to complete the Persian conquest of Greece. Gathering an enormous army and a vast naval fleet, estimated to be in the hundreds of thousands, Xerxes advanced into Greece with bold ambitions. His campaign began with the crossing of the Hellespont, a strategic move underscoring his determination to march through Thessaly to Athens. However, despite Xerxes' numerical superiority, the invasion faced significant logistical challenges and resistance from united Greek forces. The most notable moment in this campaign was the Battle of Thermopylae, where an alliance of Greek city-states, led by King Leonidas of Sparta, faced off against the Persian horde. The narrow pass of Thermopylae provided a tactical advantage, enabling the vastly outnumbered Greek forces to inflict heavy casualties on the Persians. The eventual betrayal of a local Greek traitor who revealed a secret passage allowed the Persians to flank Leonidas' position, leading to the fall of the pass. Despite their defeat, the heroic stand of the Spartans at Thermopylae became legendary, inspiring countless tales of courage and resilience. As Xerxes continued his campaign, the Persian army advanced toward Athens, which had been evacuated upon the realization of the impending attack. In a calculated strategy, the Greeks regrouped, relying on their naval strength to confront the Persian fleet at Salamis. The Battle of Salamis turned the tide of the war, inflicting a resounding defeat on the Persian navy. Xerxes, witnessing the calamity of his fleet and realizing the fragility of his position, retreated back to Persia, effectively abandoning his army in Greece. The failed invasion showcased not only the logistical challenges of maintaining a vast empire across hostile territories, but also the limits to central command control in military operations. Xerxes' withdrawal marked a pivotal moment, as it galvanized the Greek city-states into a more profound sense of unity. Following Salamis, the formation of the Hellenic League exemplified cooperative efforts against a common enemy, leading to further successes, including the decisive victory at the Battle of Plataea in 479 BCE. The fallout from Xerxes' failed invasion left a lasting legacy, shaping the geopolitical landscape of the Mediterranean and solidifying the identity of the Greek city-states. The impact of this conflict reverberated through history, signalling the dawn of the classical era in which Greek culture, philosophy and democracy began to flourish unimpeded by Persian domination. The Greco-Persian Wars had profound and lasting impacts on both Persia and Greece, reshaping their histories and identities. For Greece, the triumph over the Persian Empire fostered a newfound sense of unity and nationalism among the city-states. While the conflict initially heightened rivalries, it ultimately laid the groundwork for a shared Hellenic identity centered on the principles of democracy, freedom, and resilience against tyranny. The successful defense against the Persian forces elevated the stature of notable city-states, particularly Athens, which emerged as a dominant naval power and cultural leader. The aftermath of the wars propelled the Athenian Golden Age, during which advancements in art, philosophy, and democracy reached unprecedented heights. In contrast, the Persian Empire faced a staggered reassessment of its ambitions following its defeats. Despite the immense resources they mobilized, the failure to conquer Greece exposed vulnerabilities within the vast empire's military strategy and execution. The loss at Salamis and subsequent retreat of Xerxes undermined the imperial image of invincibility and led to dissent and fragmentation within the empire. This created opportunities for local uprisings and dissatisfaction among conquered peoples, which would later contribute to the weakening of the Persian Empire in subsequent centuries. The failure highlighted overextension and the risks associated with maintaining a vast colonial empire dependent on military superiority. Furthermore, the wars played a crucial role in advancing the evolution of democratic ideals within Greece. The successes of the hoplite armies and naval fleets, composed primarily of citizen soldiers empowered by democratic ideals, marked a turning point in political thought and governance. Victories against a formidable adversary like Persia inspired philosophical discussions about governance, duty, citizenship, and individual rights. The victories also fostered a belief in the efficacy of collective military and political action among city-states united under the banner of freedom. As the dust settled from the Greco-Persian Wars, both Persia and Greece emerged altered by the conflict. The wars served as a crucible, not only defining the trajectory of these two civilizations, but also shaping broader ancient and modern concepts of governance, identity, and the conflict between democracy and despotism. The echoes of this epic struggle continue to resonate through history, reminding us of the importance of unity, resilience, and the unwavering human spirit in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges. In conclusion, the Greco-Persian Wars represented a defining era that had lasting implications for the evolution of ancient civilizations. They underscored the complexities of imperial ambition, the power of unity among disparate communities, and the philosophical inquiries into governance that would resonate throughout centuries of history. The successful defence of Greece against a powerful adversary established a legacy, not only of military prowess, but also of the ideals that would shape Western civilization. The wars ushered in a new age, one that celebrated the triumph of human perseverance, the valour of free societies, and the indelible mark left on world history by the peoples of ancient Greece. The Achaemenid Empire, once a formidable force stretching from the Indus Valley in the east to the Aegean Sea in the west, began to unravel by the mid-4th century BCE, largely due to internal conflicts and inherent weaknesses. At the heart of this disintegration were the satraps, the governors of the empire's vast provinces, who began to carve out spheres of influence for themselves. Originally appointed by the emperors themselves, these satraps increasingly viewed their positions as quasi-autonomous rulers. This shift in loyalty often derived from the ample distance between the capital and the regional outposts, which led to power struggles, corruption, and at times outright rebellion. After the death of Darius II in 404 BCE, the empire entered a turbulent period characterized by a power vacuum and chaotic succession struggles. Those vying for the throne were often met with opposition from ambitious satraps, some of whom declared themselves as kings and sought to establish their own dynasties. Ariobarzanes of Phrygia and Artaxerxes III are prime examples of satraps who manoeuvred politically during this tumultuous time. Furthermore, the weakening economic conditions of the empire, marked by diminished agricultural productivity and rising taxes, fostered widespread discontent. Citizens, especially in the border regions, began to question their loyalty to the central authority, demanding greater autonomy. This internal strife was compounded by growing ethnic tensions as diverse populations, each with distinct cultural identities, struggled for recognition and autonomy. As various factions emerged, each vying for power in this fractured landscape, the once mighty Achaemenid Empire found itself vulnerable and unable to respond cohesively to external threats, thus laying the groundwork for its eventual downfall. The region's instability set the stage for one of classical antiquity's most significant military campaigns, Alexander the Great's invasion of Persia. In 334 BCE, he crossed into Asia Minor, armed with a combination of tactical brilliance, military innovation, and an insatiable ambition that had been nurtured by a complex education and a lineage of conquest. Alexander sought to avenge the earlier Persian invasions of Greece and prove the might of his Macedonian ancestors. His remarkable command of troops reflected not only his strategic acuity, but also his ability to galvanize loyalty among his soldiers. This profound bond was evident during key battles such as Granicus and Issus, where his forces employed a combination of phalanx formations and overwhelming cavalry charges to rout the Persian armies. Alexander's victory at the Battle of Gaugamela in 331 BCE was the most decisive blow to the Achaemenid Empire. Here, despite being outnumbered, he demonstrated an exceptional ability to maneuver and engage in psychological warfare. Such victories were not merely tactical skirmishes, but represented a significant shift in the balance of power in the ancient world. Not only did they illustrate the vulnerabilities of the Persian forces, but they also led to defections among satraps and local rulers who quickly recognized the waning power of their sovereign. As Alexander advanced into the heart of Persia, the chain reaction of loss and betrayal undermined the empire's already tenuous grip on its territories. This relentless campaign ultimately dismantled the Achaemenid structure from both a military and political perspective, paving the way for a new era characterized by Hellenistic influence that permeated the vanquished realms. The sacking and subsequent burning of Persepolis in 330 BCE stand as one of the most notorious and symbolic actions in ancient history, marking the fall of the Achaemenid Empire's grandeur. Persepolis had served not only as the ceremonial capital, but as a testament to the wealth, artistry and architectural achievements of the Achaemenid dynasty. Its grand palaces, monumental staircases, and exquisite reliefs carved from stone reflected the empire's cultural zenith. Following his victory over Darius III, Alexander entered the city with both triumph and resentment. The emotional backdrop for the burning was rooted in the historical grievances between Greeks and Persians, particularly the Persian invasions of Greece in previous decades. It is said that Alexander's forces ignited the flames as part of a revelatory act of vengeance, a way of erasing the memory of Persian dominance. However, the true motivation behind this destruction remains a subject of scholarly debate. Some historians suggest that the act was more a calculated political move intended to consolidate power by sending a clear message to other satraps and local leaders about the futility of resistance against the Macedonian onslaught. Others posit that the fire was a manifestation of the chaos and disarray that accompanied the occupation of enemy territory. Regardless of the motivations, the burning of Persepolis signified far more than just the loss of a capital city. It represented the obliteration of a cultural icon and an assertion that the Achaemenid era was irrevocably coming to an end. The conflagration not only resulted in the loss of artistry and architecture, but also communicated to the rest of the world that the Achaemenid dynasty's reign had transformed into a mere echo of glory, concluding a prominent chapter in Persian history. The catastrophic defeat at Gaugamela and the subsequent fall of Persepolis marked the definitive end of the Achaemenid dynasty. Following the death of Darius III, who was betrayed and killed by his own satraps in a desperate bid to maintain power, a vacuum of leadership plunged the remnants of the empire into disarray. Various factions within the empire vied for control, but with Alexander's forces holding the geographical and strategic advantage, these internal power struggles bore limited fruit. Alexander's approach to governance included a dual identity, as he studied Persian customs and sought to rule as a unifying figure rather than simply a conqueror. Many of the former Achaemenid officials were retained in their positions to facilitate a smoother transition of power, but this move was more pragmatic than it was indicative of respect for the old order. The administrative framework of the Achaemenid Empire underwent a transformation as Alexander established new satrapies and restructured the provinces to exert tighter control over them. While his intent may have been to create a seamless blend of Macedonian and Persian cultures, the profound truth remained that the Achaemenid legacy had shifted into the annals of history. The rich customs, religious beliefs, and cultural artifacts that had bloomed under the Achaemenid rule faced a Hellenistic renaissance that altered their trajectories fundamentally. As Alexander's empire fragmented into regions ruled by his generals after his untimely death in 323 BCE, it confirmed that while the Achaemenid dynasty may have fallen, its impact on the cultural and political landscape of the ancient world persisted, influencing subsequent empires for generations to come. The rise and fall of the Achaemenid Empire serves as a timeless reminder of the cyclical nature of power, how empires, regardless of their might, are ultimately vulnerable to the forces of change, conflict, and the unpredictable tides of history. The Persian Empire is renowned for its rich history, cultural achievements, and significant contributions to human civilization. Following the fall of the Achaemenid Empire, two prominent dynasties emerged in the Iranian plateau, the Parthians and the Sasanians. Each of these dynasties played a pivotal role in shaping the region's political landscape and cultural identity. This script explores the rise of the Parthians and their conflicts with Rome, the resurgence of Persian culture under the Sasanian Empire, advancements in science and medicine, and the empire's influential role in the development of the Silk Road. The Parthian Empire emerged in the 3rd century BCE as a significant power in Iran, following the decline of the Seleucid Empire. Founded by the Parthian tribe led by Arsaces I, the empire gradually expanded its territory, consolidating control over regions that were once part of the Achaemenid Empire. The strategic location of the Parthian state allowed it to effectively control trade routes and facilitate commerce between the east and west, positioning itself as a key player in the political dynamics of the ancient world. However, the Parthian Empire soon found itself in direct confrontation with Rome, which was rapidly expanding its influence in the region. The conflicts between the Parthians and Romans, characterized by a series of fierce battles and power struggles, were fueled by mutual ambitions for territorial expansion and control over trade routes. Notable battles include the Battle of Caere in 53 BCE, where the Parthian cavalry, utilising their superior horse archery tactics, decisively defeated a Roman legion led by Crassus. This victory not only solidified Parthian power, but also embarrassed Rome, highlighting the effectiveness of Parthian military strategy and the resilience of its forces. The ongoing conflicts culminated in a tug-of-war for supremacy that defined the geopolitical landscape for centuries. Although the Parthians faced challenges from internal factions and external pressures, including a resurgent Roman Empire, their ability to maintain a delicate balance between warfare and diplomacy was remarkable. The Parthians managed to establish a stable political system that embraced diverse cultures within their borders, allowing them to thrive amidst the chaos of constant warfare with Rome and other neighbouring states. Ultimately, the Parthian Empire laid the groundwork for the subsequent Sasanian dynasty, which sought to revive and enhance Persian culture and influence. The legacy of Parthian warfare against Rome not only reshaped the political contours of the region, but also left an indelible mark on the historical narrative of Persia and its interactions with the West. The Sasanian Empire, succeeding the Parthians in the 3rd century CE, heralded a renaissance of Persian culture, arts, and governance. Founded by Ardashir I, the Sasanian dynasty sought to restore the glory of the Achaemenid Empire, pursuing a vision characterized by unity, stability, and cultural revival. The Sasanians established a centralized state that promoted Zoroastrianism as the state religion, thereby fostering a distinctive Persian identity. Under their rule, the empire experienced an extraordinary flourishing of art, literature, and philosophy, marking a notable cultural renaissance. One of the hallmarks of the Sasanian Empire was its impressive architectural and artistic achievements. Magnificent palaces, grand temples, and intricate carvings emerged, showcasing the empire's artistic prowess. The famous Tak Khazra, or Arch of Ctesiphon, remains a testament to the architectural ingenuity of the Sasanians, symbolizing their ambitions and aspirations. Moreover, the revival of the Persian language and literature during this period led to the organization of vast libraries, preserving ancient knowledge and promoting the creation of new literary works. Scholars like Ferdowsi, through their epics and poetry, celebrated Persian history, mythology, and heroism, creating a rich tapestry of cultural narrative that continues to resonate with Iranian identity. Yet, the Sasanian Empire was not solely defined by its cultural advancements. It also engaged in extensive diplomatic and military campaigns that expanded its borders. The Sasanians faced challenges from both the Byzantine Empire to the west and various nomadic tribes from the east. Succumbing to a series of confrontations, the empire navigated these external threats while simultaneously maintaining internal cohesion through effective governance. The Sasanians fostered trade, established elaborate road systems, and enhanced agricultural production to strengthen their economy, laying the groundwork for a prosperous society that thrived on commerce and cultural exchange. Ultimately, the Sasanian period resonated with cultural, artistic, and intellectual achievements that would leave a lasting impact on future generations. The revival of Persian culture not only nurtured a sense of identity and pride among the people, but also positioned the Sasanian Empire as a powerful influence in the region, rivaling contemporary civilizations and setting the stage for a rich tapestry of interactions that would continue to shape the narrative of Persia through subsequent centuries. The Sasanian Empire was not merely an era of cultural revival, it also marked a significant period for advancements in science, medicine, and philosophy. Following the legacy of the Achaemenids, who sponsored the sciences, the Sasanians placed a strong emphasis on intellectual pursuit and knowledge. Scholars and polymaths flourished, contributing to various fields, including astronomy, mathematics, medicine, and engineering. Institutions like the Academy of Gundishapur emerged as centres of academic excellence, attracting scholars from various cultures. including Greeks, Indians, and Arabs. In medicine, the Sasanian Empire made noteworthy strides that laid the groundwork for future advancements. Medical texts and practices were compiled, synthesizing knowledge from diverse cultures while emphasizing observation and clinical practice. Notable physicians such as Burzo contributed to this field, drawing from Greek medical texts while innovating new treatment methods. The introduction of the concept of hospitals, or bimaristans, offered care and treatment to the sick, reflecting an advanced understanding of public health that had significant implications for future medical practices in the wider region. Moreover, advancements in mathematics and astronomy redefined perspectives on the cosmos. The development of new astronomical models enabled enhanced navigation and timekeeping, facilitating trade across vast distances and fostering cultural exchange. The famed scholar Abu Rayhan al-Biruni, known for his contributions to various fields, exemplifies the scientific spirit of this era. His works on mathematics and geography profoundly influenced subsequent scholars and thinkers across the Islamic world and beyond. In summary, the Sasanian Empire served as a nucleus of scientific and medical advancements that not only enriched Persian intellectual life, but also contributed to the broader tapestry of global knowledge. The empire's commitment to education, innovation, and practical applications of science facilitated cultural exchanges that bridged various civilizations and set the stage for further research and exploration in the age to come. The geography of the Persian Empire positioned it as a crucial connector along the famed Silk Road, the ancient trade route that linked east and west. This network of trade routes, which facilitated the exchange of goods, cultures and ideas, flourished under the auspices of the Persian dynasties, particularly during the Sasanian period. The empire's strategic location served as a bridge between the Mediterranean, Central Asia, and the Indian subcontinent, fostering a vibrant commercial landscape that benefited from and contributed to the cultural exchange inherent in Silk Road interactions. The abundance of resources in Persia, such as silk, spices, textiles, and precious metals, attracted traders from varied nations, creating a bustling marketplace where different cultures converged. The establishment of caravanserais, roadside inns that provided shelter and services to travelling merchants, further stimulated trade by enhancing the flow of commerce and facilitating communication. This network not only enabled material exchange, but also allowed for the sharing of knowledge and philosophical ideas, enriching the cultural fabric of the empire and the greater Silk Road. Moreover, trade through Persia had profound impact on the dissemination of technology and innovations. The transfer of agricultural practices, ancient writings, and artistic styles between diverse cultures fostered a vibrant multicultural society within the empire's borders. Ideas travelled as freely as goods, leading to the cross-pollination of thoughts and beliefs that shaped the development of various civilizations. The Persians played a vital role in ensuring the safety and stability necessary for this exchange to flourish, enhancing their reputation as accomplished traders and facilitators of commerce. In conclusion, the Persian Empire's significant role in shaping the Silk Road underscores its enduring legacy as a centre of cultural exchange and economic prosperity. The interactions along these trade routes enriched not only the empire itself, but also the various civilizations involved, fostering a complex web of connections that influenced the historical trajectory of multiple cultures and civilizations throughout history.